To me, Britton, it really felt like the intermediate passing game, the passing game at all, frankly, outside of some early throws to Rondale Moore and Trey McBride, it was non-existent. Like there's no rhythm in the passing game. Again, not to make excuses, that just feels like Kyler Murray not having played football in a year. In conjunction with Michael Wilson's your second best receiver behind Hollywood Brown, not available today. Hollywood Brown, I think, underperforms again. So there's a bunch of predetermined factors, and then you can look and say, okay, that's why they didn't perform. But then my frustration is, well, then you need to alter your game plan a little bit. Like we mentioned this on the halftime show, way too much under the gun, like not enough under center. You could have dominated the line of scrimmage if you chose to. Like there were opportunities for James Conner to run north and south. I did not like the game plan, and to me, like Drew Petzing now. This week, this is a big knock against Drew Petzing, in my opinion.
I mean, he's going to have to take some of that flack in the media and from everybody else, too, because a lot of the play calls were not great. But at the end of the day, Kyler has to play better, and you can blame it on he hasn't been here or not. But he's the franchise quarterback. He's your quarterback. He's an NFL quarterback. You need him to step up in these big moments. He threw a couple terrible passes today. And, yeah, there's a rust. You got to expect there to be a rust factor. I mean, yes, this is game 2 back. He hasn't played in 300-plus days, whatever you want to say it. And so it's to that point where he's got to shake that off. Like next week has got to be a completely different Kyler. We got to see it back on top. He's got to make these throws that he missed this week and get back to where he was at.
Yeah, more super chats here if we could. Producer Jacob looking at my guy Jeff Underhill, $4.99. Thank you so much, Jeff. Again, can play a complete game all across 3 phases. Yeah, I mean, that's a byproduct, Bo, of this team rebuilding. Like, 1 week it's the offense that looks good, the penalties, the defense maybe falters. Today I thought we'll get into the officiating. Like, we're not helped by the officials, gifted multiple possessions for the Houston Texans. But, I mean, the Cardinals are far from a complete team, so thus they have to play perfect in some aspects.
Yeah, I mean, and you're asking for perfection, and you're asking, like, that's why I think that there's a huge amount of frustration within the fan base and the chat. Like, they saw Kyler Murray do superhuman things in his debut, and then they saw a little bit of it today as well. His ability to rush in for the touchdown, that was an unbelievable play once again from Kyler Murray. But then you just never saw really this offense operate cleanly, consistently for and get into rhythm throughout this game. And I think that's why people are like, damn it, this was right there. And C.J. Stroud uncharacteristically didn't take care of the football 3 times. And put you in a good position to be successful, and they couldn't cash in. And I think that's where everybody's sitting here like, who's to blame for this? Because people are looking for, Drew Petzing to when he's gifted that opportunity to cash in, and they didn't do that. Still didn't see enough James Conner, in my opinion, in the second half. Still finished the game with just 14 carries for 62 yards. Kyler helped supplement the rush game with 51 of his own, but there just wasn't any true rhythm to this play calling. Sure, they were moving down the field at times, but it was just very herky-jerky.
And I put some of that, like, listen, the kind of offense that Drew Petzing wants to run that maybe they ran earlier this year, it's not what they're running right now. They were under center most of while Joshua Dobbs was here, and his time dating back to Cleveland, they had big physical wide receivers. Like outside of Trey McBride, like that's not what you have here right now. It's Rondale Moore, Greg Dortch, Hollywood Brown. Now, Greg Dortch, in my opinion, was underutilized today, but at the same time, it's like they want to trot out a bunch of 6'2", 6'3 guys, and that's not the personnel. So it's like play to your personnel, run the football. Disappointing. I think Drew Petzing didn't help himself today. Hollywood Brown didn't. Kyler Murray can play better, but again, it goes back to what is this team's philosophy with K1 at quarterback? Because again, like I like the idea of the Cardinals once upon a time tweaking a top 10 run game for Kyler Murray to plug into. This did look too much like Cliff Kingsbury today. Horizontal throws, negative plays, everything from the gun. Like it looked finesse. At times it looked soft to me. That's not where we want to be.
No, and it's completely different than what we saw from the offensive game plan last week.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the ball was out quick. There was a lot of intermediate routes. They were on target. We made them. We found a rhythm. I feel like we talked about it earlier. There was no rhythm found in the offense today. Outside of that first drive, we had a rhythm. You went down the field. You drove the field. You get a big over-the-top, deep touchdown pass.
Yep.
Outside of that, it's like gimmick play. the dumb play.
Mm-hmm.
Then we try to hand the ball off on the second long, or it's third and something, and we got away from James Conner.
Yeah.
When it was working.
Yep.
I mean, he was breaking
7
every
yards
tackle.
a carry in the first half.
Yeah.
And I said it on the halftime show. James Conner should have 15 to 20 touches in the second half. I don't think he got that. And if they were, it was a mixture of passes and runs. But I feel like he should have had the ball in his hands and been able to run because we were making yards. That puts your offense in a rhythm. When you're getting positive plays on first down and you're setting up second medium, third and short, it's easier to convert those than it is to convert second and 15 and third and 12. It's an impossible task you're asking of an offense.
Yeah, you guys are crushing it. It's not an impossible task. Leave a like on this video, Bo Brock, and I'm already seeing it in the chat, so I'm ready to pivot here. Folks are frustrated with Kyler Murray. I get that. We're going to talk about draft standings here in a little bit, but for me, it's like, how much blame do you put on Kyler Murray today for the way that the offense performed, or I guess lack thereof?
I put a heavy amount of it. I'd say 50%, right?
Yeah.
And then you start to look at Petzing and the play calling, and obviously the other variables that play into the offensive side of the football. But it's not like I'm going to crush him because it's his second game back. Mm-hmm. It really, he's got one game film out there, and a tip of the cap to the Houston Texans for making the right adjustments and making times tough for Kyler Murray. The things that were concerning are things that he's usually pretty well set up for success with in making some of those throws. Like, go back to the Trey McBride throw. Like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know how that ball came out so poorly. You just don't see that often from Kyler Murray.
Do we want to spec?
No, I don't think
here?
we should. We'll just kind of see what comes out of the post game, and hopefully they do their due diligence and ask the right questions there. Is his shoulder fine? But it's like I don't know if anybody expected him to be perfect the entire way throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So it was just a little disheartening because there was so much momentum going in this game, and like I said, you were put in such a situation to where you could really take advantage of this if you wanted to, and you just didn't get it. You didn't get it, but the quarterback battle that we were expecting to see, we did not get.
No.
We didn't get it from either side of it.
Neither team eclipsed 22 points.
And, C.J. Stroud, I think, was benefited from, people stepping up. And the emphasis, the onus shouldn't just be all on Kyler Murray to go out there and win this football game outright. Like, the defense did very well, but he didn't get, especially on his side of the football, a whole hell of a lot of help.